Hello, everybody. It's Hump Day again, and I am just thrilled because my very dear friend Scott Hanratty is here with us today. And he is like designer, weaver extraordinaire in my book, and I think in a lot of people's books. And he's here with us to talk about the new Camel 2 ply that is for weaving and fine lace knitting. And he has a new project that he created for us with it. And so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna start asking Scott questions. And so first let's get to know Scott. So Scott, when did you start weaving?
Thanks for having me. I've been moving, I think I mentioned to someone the other day, it's been about 15 years now, which I can't believe it's been gone by that quickly. I studied it in Columbus, or learned how to weave in Columbus, and then I got a linen certificate at the Marshfield School of Weaving in Vermont, which was excellent. Highly recommend weaving there. But yeah, been just having a lot of fun with June Cashmere fiber.
Well, Scott is also, so you learned at the Cultural Arts Center, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's where I learned to weave, and we had a mutual teacher. But then Pat, her name was Pat Bullen, she moved to Wisconsin, and Scott became like the principal,
Yeah,
right?
the teacher there.
The
Yeah,
teacher at the Cultural Arts Center. So he is teaching people how to weave, and this is very exciting. He's very, very gifted.
lots of fun there, and the students keep challenging me with new projects and new techniques, and I'm always learning new things. So I feel fortunate that I get to do that too.
Oh, you were telling me the other day. So this is the third student you said that is making something.
Yes, I have my third student who is weaving their own death shroud,
That's
which is
fascinating.
it's so great. So green burial is very trendy right now, and so they've been weaving their own shroud, which is like a wrap that you'll be in forever.
Wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
and what do they make it from usually?
Organic cotton,
Okay.
or it can be made out of wool
Uh-huh.
or silk or cotton, organic cotton
Wow.
or linen. Yeah, just
Wow.
a natural
Hemp?
fiber.
Anybody use hemp?
No, I guess you could use hemp. I'm sure you could use.
Yeah, cashmere.
Wouldn't that
You
be
could bury
lovely?
yourself in
Wouldn't that be
cashmere.
amazing? I should start.
Oh.
I should start suggesting that for sure.
Well, let's not hesitate. So we'll look at some of Scott's previous designs that he's done for us, but his most, you want to grab that one?
Okay.
The most recent one. So we are launching our 2-ply camel that's for weavers and fine lace knitters. And this is the design Scott came up with to yeah, look at how beautiful this is. And this is, I've had it, I've soft launched it at Maryland, and then again at where did I just go? Estes Park. And people have said, oh my gosh, Burberry's. Like just the quality and the look. And so tell us about this.
Yeah, I we wanted to use every color that the camel was offered in. So I thought of the neutral as like the base, so the background color, and then the colors were going to be the stripes. I did it in a 2-2 twill, which is a balanced weave. It's very traditional of weaving tartans, and also Burberry also does do a 2-2 twill. But I just wanted to have fun with the stripes. Wanted the stripes to kind of be evenly spaced across the entire warp. So the stripes are in the warp and in the weft. And I wanted it to kind of be asymmetrical. I wanted it to be fun, lots of color changes. There's a couple blocks like here where all four colors are represented in this tiny little block here. I think that's coming across the top.
Yeah,
And,
I can
yeah.
move it a little closer so we can see some of these. Okay, oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, yeah, the most of the camel.
So we're leaving, the camel comes in 50 grams. So we're leaving the camel in 50 grams, but then you don't need the whole thing at this length and width weighs exactly 50 grams. No, I'm sorry, it weighs 100 grams.
100 grams, yeah.
100
Nice,
grams,
yeah.
yes. And so in order to have, so you can make this, replicate this, but you can also have ample to add So we're keeping the 50 gram, but our colors come in 100 grams. So we're breaking them down. So first so this comes in the natural color. It's just like the colors for the DK. So the natural camel, and then there's our smoky lilac, which is a smoky plummy, and then our red geranium. And all the colors come in 100 gram cones. And this is stormy blue, and then the olive bark.
I like them all, but I think that one's my favorite.
Yeah, well, I didn't know, poor Scott. Scott loves a neutral palette, like browns and blacks and tans and
Yeah.
natural colors. And I didn't know that red traumatizes him a little bit. So bless him for forging forward.
It's a gorgeous color though. It really is beautiful.
It is beautiful. So anyway, how the kit for this particular thing comes is keeping the 50 gram cone of natural, and then I'm breaking down into little cakes.
I'm
So
gonna say bundt cakes.
bundt cakes, I like that. All of the 4 colors, and they'll all have little tags, and so that's what you'll get for your kit. And so this gives you 50, 100, 150 grams. So you have 50 more grams to play with. Did I do that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
50 more grams to play with if you'd like to make this a little longer, wider. Yeah, so. And what did you think of using, okay,
Yeah.
so tell Mike, okay, so I worked a lot with the dyer to make sure that we could dye this 2-ply and it would work for weft, for weaving. And when I got it from the dyer, I'm like, oh no, this is never gonna work. So Scott, of course, said, well, we just don't know unless we try it.
Right.
And so then tell me about it.
So yeah, I was a little hesitant just because the break test was so easy, like Amy just demonstrated, and it broke very easy in hand. And so when I was warping the warp, which has all the colors in it, you can actually see from the fringe, those are all the colors in the warp. The fringe, it worked like a dream. It was so easy. I held one strand in my hand while warping. Some people hold 2 in the hand at a time. I just held one. I just didn't know if it was gonna tangle or break, or I didn't know what. So did one in a hand, and I just kept thinking, hold it like a luxury fiber. And if you hold it like a luxury fiber, the hands are a little softer. You're not making any jerking motions. You're not pulling or tugging on it. It worked like a dream. I was so excited. Then I pre-slay the reed. I do kind of like a modified Swedish style of dressing a loom. So I pre-slayed the reed first, slayed like a dream. I beamed it on. It slipped through the lee sticks like butter. And then I threaded the loom. It was so easy. Put it through the reed, tied it on. It was perfect. Not a single broken thread. And then just started weaving, and it was absolute perfection. Not a single broken thread through the entire project. So it was great.
So each step of the way, Scott is sending me, after the warping board and then then the threading and each step. And I'm like, okay, but the real thing for me is probably the tension. Will it hold tension? Well, here's the deal, I think, is that we don't put stress like that on one thread. This is a 2-ply, so one thread when we weave, there is even tension. And so anyway, I went from like when it arrived cursing my dyer to like, okay, I'm so sorry. You knew exactly what you were doing. Anyway.
No, it was really great. And then you're like you said, you don't crank the tension like you would with linen. You wouldn't use the beater bar like you would with linen. It's a luxury fiber. You want to treat it that way. So just a little squish with the beater bar and it wove perfectly. And actually, you would probably want a lighter beat with this because it is such a nice lofty fiber and it has a little bit of what is it called with the halo of the yarn, has a little bit of fuzziness to it, and you want that to be celebrated in the final product. So
and did you see a big difference between when it came right off the loom and then you washed it?
The only thing I noticed is it got very soft, and It did bloom up a bit,
Yeah.
yeah. And the, all the interlacements even out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if there was any inconsistency on beat, which I really tried to be very even, it just kind of evened out.
Yeah. That's what, so I've been playing with all of this for knitting and have some projects going. But that's what I find when I wash this is it is the same with the cashmere. It just evens out and blooms and is so beautiful. And I think the 20 EPI is perfect. It's just such a beautiful cloth.
Yeah, I think if I were to do a plain weave, which is a different structure, I would probably go down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like a 16 or 18 EPI. But since we were doing the 2/2 twill, just kind of snugged it up a little bit and made a nice
Really,
collar.
you'd have it more open for the.
Yeah, the more interlacements with a plain weave. So
Yeah.
more
Oh, okay,
opportunities
okay.
for the
Oh,
thread
that
to go
makes
over and under.
sense.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So folks, and did we ever come up with a name? Oh my gosh, I'm
No,
like
I didn't
gonna get
think of
this
that.
online and I don't have a name. We need a name.
Yeah,
What's the name gonna be?
I don't know. Do you want
Uh,
to comment below?
comment. Yes, comment in the comment section. Give us a name. Okay, well, one idea is, the Scottish plaids. I mean, this is personal, but the Scottish different plaids, and this is not. Well, I don't know. I guess plaid is Scottish by heritage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my mother's maiden name was Sutherland, so I could call it the Sutherland.
Sutherland Scarf.
The Sutherland Scarf. Anyway, but hey, between Hump Day and Newsletter Day when it launches, we've got 2 days to give it a name, folks. So put it in the comment section. What would you name this beautiful, luxurious camel, 100% camel, soft? So we should talk about camel just a wee bit. It's like the other luxury fiber.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the softness?
Very, very soft. I do feel like it has, since it does have that little bit of halo in the yarn, it has I don't know, the cashmere seems very clean and crisp.
Yeah.
And the camel has a softness to it
Uh-huh.
that it does not blur the lines at all, but it just has softness in the feel.
Mhm.
A muted, I don't know if that makes sense,
It
muted
does.
between the
Mhm.
lines.
Yeah.
So it gives a very ethereal, just
Very
cozy,
softened look.
romantic feel to it, I feel like.
So somebody gave a really good description in one of the booths and said, "Oh my gosh, it's like I was doing this hand close your eyes and see if you can tell which one's the cashmere and which one's the camel with my knitted swatches." And some people got it wrong.
Yeah.
And the whole point was not that they are equally as soft. There is a difference, but that the awareness that it is very soft. But somebody described it really well to say, "Oh my gosh, it's incredibly soft, and yet it has a wee bit of tooth."
Oh, I like that.
I liked it
I
a
like a
lot.
little bit too. Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
feel that.
anyway, there is our new scarf, and again, that's coming on Friday, all kitted up with, like I say, 25-ounce colors, and then the 50, not ounces, 25 grams in the colors, and then 50 grams. I guess you can't really see. And then 50 grams in the natural.
And will they also get the recipe too?
Yes, and then the pattern comes with it. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's good. So since Scott is here, I'm just going to take a look back at some of the other things he has designed for us. And this is the first thing he's done with our camel, but he has done a few things for us in our cashmere. So I think this was like the first thing you ever did.
I think it was too. Isn't it interesting that we did lace as one of the first things that are stuck together?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Is it a Bronson?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Is it Bronson?
Lace net from plain weave ovals from Hand Woven Laces book by Donna Mueller.
Yep. That's coming through.
Yeah, I'll get closer to camera, or it might work better with the
Oh,
color.
in the color, yeah, and I just did a same work.
Yeah.
And a different weft, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is, now that I know, it was really with the dyer that I learned about sort of developing so that this would work for warp. And he said, well, you're getting the twists for these for knitting yarn, and you just need a little bit more twist, which I can do for you. to make sure that this works for warp. And so we had started out and only had our cashmere in 100-gram cones in 2-ply. And this had spinning wheels still in, which makes it work beautifully.
Very strong. Yeah. Love it.
But now we know that I can ask for just a wee bit more twist and also get colors. So that can come down the road too. But so this is the natural on the natural using the warp and weft with the natural. And then what we've done for colors is always use the natural for the warp, but then bring one of our fingering weight colors. And this must have been Silver Fox, I'm gonna guess, for the weft.
It's really pretty.
And that's worked beautifully. Yeah, so those were just samples, just starting out. Then the next thing.
Yep, and then here's a different scarf. This was a network twill. I think we're maybe weaving this for a particular person maybe, and so I had them in mind maybe when weaving it. Just some nice stripes here, just very, I don't know.
Yeah, and the plain weave, the way the I think it was the treadling that was, well, all of it. The plain weave, which I don't know if you can really see, is a little bit different than a plain weave. And I don't know if that texture, there you can kind of see the texture coming through. So the texture is really cool. It almost creates these little stripes.
Like a rib almost.
Yeah. And then this is a twill pattern. And this was using, again, the natural for the warp, but our special for the weft. And so, yeah, that's a great scarf. And that's called Quora.
And I love how when we do the hem stitch, the fringe just gets nice puffy and just very soft. And it's just nice to feel.
Yeah, very, very soft. Oh my gosh, yeah. So this is called Quora. This is one cone of our cashmere and then one skein of our fingering, and that you can order as a kit called Quora.
It'd look great in many colors too.
Totally. Yeah, really fun.
And then this.
And this is like, oh my gosh, people stop. People come into the booth. I strategically put it at the corner so everybody can see it, and they say, oh my gosh, what is that?
So this was a published pattern that June Cashmere was in Handwoven magazine.
Scott Hanratty was in Handwoven magazine and used our yarn.
And that was a nice article about June also in the same magazine.
Yeah.
So it was, I think they remember they gave us a palette to maybe work from.
Oh, that's right.
And then we worked within the palette and
for their call for patterns. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted something that would be that many people could weave. So it's a 4-shaft pattern and just time to experiment with all different color combinations. So that was a lot of fun. I think there was 7 or 8 colors.
I think so. This is called Floral for All, and this is a kit. So what happens is it's 3 of our cones for the warp and the natural weft, and then I think it's 10 grams is all.
Okay.
But I'll have to, it says online. Yeah. And so you get to choose your colors. You don't have to choose these, but I do tell you online what these colors are. And then I make up the mini skeins. So out of our 3-ply so that you can replicate this. And yeah, and then the pattern is now a downloadable free from Handwoven.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
So,
and I had fun playing with the stripes, the plain weave stripes in between the pattern picks.
Yes, this on. This is one of my favorites. I wear this all the time.
I think you live in that from
November
to spring.
Because like, look at how cute this is.
That's like really good. Yeah. I was actually thinking we should maybe weave that up in camel. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yes, let's weave it up in camel.
Okay.
Very cool. We'll have to, like, we only have 5 colors, but
okay.
4 colors plus the natural.
Right.
But that's okay.
We can modify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then the other thing.
Oh yeah.
The last thing you did.
Yeah, it was a little pillow cover. This was just a sample of an idea, and it was different types of monk belts, some extended monk belts. So I really like this idea, and we thought about you know, cashmere is so wonderful to touch. It would make great pillows. So actually landed on some pillows.
Oh, I love these. You can grab the other one and I'll
Okay.
look at these. I mean, they're gorgeous. They're so decadent.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can see, I came up with this little stitch of this natural in between the colors.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
there it is.
a little, I call it like a little floral cluster. And that's just the work mimicking the monk belt. So the natural on the natural background, which gave a nice little texture. And here's another colorway.
Yep, gorgeous.
Black cherry is one of my favorites
Yeah.
of all times.
Yeah.
I really
So
enjoy
I
it.
kind of have these set up in there online for the two colorways, but you can tell me which colors you want out of the fingering and create your own kit and just email me at amy@junecashmere.com and we can, you know, doesn't matter what colors. It's just people get overwhelmed by trying to choose their colors. So I made it up blue pillow and pinks pillow or whatever I called that. I don't know. So yeah, Scott, you're the bomb. You are a
Well,
beautiful designer.
Oh, well, June Cashmere is a fantastic fiber to work with. So it's easy to come up with nice things.
Oh, shoot, we should have had you bring, so you tell them about your floral fall, because you did one when I had some
Yeah.
charcoal fingering
Yep.
and so,
So I took this same pattern here and just did it all over the entire scarf in a single color. I had some work left over. And so that was really fun.
so totally, so you could change this and just do a single color and leave out the plain parts, but it was during COVID and
Yes.
you wove in.
So I did a pickup stick technique. I've always wanted to try this, and I wove in Hug Me Later in a little patch at the bottom of it. And that was kind of our, you know, keeping distance and keeping safe.
Yeah, so you know, historically, someone will look back at that and say, oh, that was woven during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, the infamous COVID. Well, Scott, thank you so much for being here with me on Hump Day.
Thanks
And
so much.
I hope weavers will, oh my gosh, make any of these, but make this new, amazing, stunning, beautiful new camel scarf that once again, remember, we need a name for. So drop in your ideas. Is it the Sutherland Scarf or is it something else? All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.